A funny cat video? Dopamine hit. An inspiring quote? More dopamine, please. An influencer who's just landed the brand partnership of your dreams? Ouch. And you think, why haven't I? Let's talk about comparison and self-worth and tips for staying out of the comparison game, overcoming imposter syndrome, and in turn, raising your self-worth along the way. When I made the decision to launch my blog, I was frankly terrified. A million other bloggers were doing it already and doing it really, really well. There were two things on my mind. Number one, how would I keep myself from falling into the comparison trap, letting my self-worth spiral? Number two, what about the imposter syndrome? Who did I even think I was starting off onto this new path? Rather than letting other people's wins diminish you, let their success expand you into new possibilities. Let's turn comparison into inspiration. We're on social media for about 2.5 hours a day. While we're there, we see other creators' successes, and we forget that they've also likely spent hours upon hours in our exact same shoes. So how do we get out of our heads and into action? Start by thinking about someone who you aspire to be like in the creator space. Next, dig in until you find their origin story. And I'm not talking about the about page on their website or a podcast interview that they did. I'm talking about the real origin story. Typically, you can do that by getting on Instagram and scrolling all the way back, or getting on their blog and going back to the early days. I want you to scroll so far back that you can see where their journey began. There's likely several things you'll uncover in this process. Number one, you'll realize that they are just like you. They had a starting point, they tried things out, they tested ideas, and they had successes and failures. You may also learn about some of the things that they did to start gaining momentum in their niche. For example, several years ago, after starting my blog, I decided to create my first online course and a membership community. I knew that there were other bloggers having great success with this, and I wondered, how in the world do I even start this process? I turned to the Instagram pages and blogs of a few creators that I admire. One example is Catherine of Manifestation Babe. I scrolled all the way back and found that Catherine not only shared her process of building her following, she also shared income reports on her blog. Her first year, by the way, she made $9,000 for the year. The very next year, after launching her online course, she was in the high six figures. Well, that was plenty enough motivation and inspiration to get me on the path to designing my own course. I let her success inspire my own. There's one other thing we need to tackle when it comes to self-worth. The old imposter syndrome. Real talk, when someone asks me the inevitable cocktail party question, "What do you do, Andy?" I'm the CEO of WeWe. I produce a blog, a podcast, courses, and have a community that I love. What immediately starts to run through my mind is that the person I'm talking to will think, you're a blogger, an author, a podcaster? Why haven't I heard of you? The imposter syndrome is the psychology of internalizing our accomplishments with fears that we are a fraud. In the beginning, doing this work for ourselves requires that we muster up a different type of confidence. There is no longer a boss to impress to give us the assurance that we're excelling in our roles. So how do we overcome imposter syndrome? Here's what's worked for me. 1, write an essence statement. Write an essence statement about who you are and who you are striving to be. Your essence statement should start with an I am statement and declare with power that you have something this world needs to see. Here's mine. I'm an intuitive and visionary creator. I am layered with candid brilliance, organic conversation, and hyper-creative expression. That statement is my battle cry. When I sit down to create, it frees me of the idea that someone else determines who and what I can be and what value I have to offer. Put this statement next to your bedside and read it every morning when you wake up and before you go to bed. In the morning, say it out loud to yourself in the mirror before you begin your day. Type it into your phone notes When you feel insecure about yourself, open up that note and read it again. If you don't believe it yet, that's okay. You will if you keep this practice up. When your brain does what mine does at that cocktail party and asks, what gives you the right, you're no expert at this, allow yourself just a moment of that and then move on. Remind yourself, you are a creator because you show up every day as one. You are a blogger because you sit down every day to write like one. You are a photographer because you commit to learning your craft like one. The creator community is one in which we cheer each other on. So drop me a note in the comments and let me know what you're up to. In the next episode, I'll talk about haters, critics, and naysayers. I hope you're loving this series and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more.